So last week Amazon purchased MGM Studios, and I was struck with this really familiar feeling where I looked at that news article and I thought to myself, isn't that illegal? So let's talk about it, because this isn't the first time that I've felt like something was illegal. In the past 10 years, there have been a lot of tech companies purchasing large media studios, and every time it happens, I look at the news article and I'm just like, why do I feel like this is illegal? In 2011, Comcast bought NBC Universal from GE. In 2018, AT&T bought Time Warner outright. In 2019, Disney bought 20th Century Fox, and that one's a little bit different, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. So obviously none of these buyouts are actually illegal, or else they wouldn't have been allowed to go through. But why do I keep thinking that they are? And there's a few reasons for that, but mostly it comes down to monopoly and vertical integration. Monopoly, as all of us who've played the game know, is the hoarding and keeping of all available resources for oneself, or in this case, one company. It's when most of the media available is only from one or two places. Vertical integration is a type of monopoly in which one company owns the entirety of a project from the idea and the script all the way through production and down to the way that it's distributed. This could be a theater in the case of a movie, it could be a network in the case of a TV show, or a streaming service in more recent times. Monopolies and vertical integration are regulated to allow for a free market, to allow for independent producers to be able to make things. But does it? A lot of the regulations come from the Paramount decision, named after a Supreme Court case in 1948 in which Paramount Pictures was the primary defendant. The United States was suing all the major picture studios for owning everything, for vertical integration. The Paramount decision forced the studios to sell the theaters that they owned. It actually put them in a really bad spot, and eventually ended the studio system, which contracted talent to only star or work on pictures for a single studio. So this is good. It ended vertical integration for the movie studios and forced the studios to allow independent producers to be a part of the filmmaking process. All good things, right? But that's not really why I started this rabbit hole of research, and it's not the reason that I think these practices are illegal. In fact, studios owning theaters has no bearing on tech companies buying out studios, which is a little bit different and not new. In fact, tech companies have been a part of the entertainment industry, a part of film and television and now internet content since the very beginning. RCA, the Radio Corporation of America, is one of the companies that founded NBC, and GE, General Electric, founded RCA. So they're all very interconnected, but that's the part that hasn't been allowed. In 1927, there were two nationally syndicated radio stations, CBS and NBC. But NBC had so much content that what they decided to do is split it. They split into two networks, NBC Red and NBC Blue. And that was fine? Kind of? Actually, it's not that it was fine. It's just that there was no one around to tell them not to. And probably NBC splitting into two networks and taking over a lot of the market share is what inspired the Radio Act of 1927. The Communications Act of 1934 establishes the FCC, and in 1943, the FCC forces NBC to sell one of their networks. They had a monopoly, and the FCC wanted to get a handle on that before they started broadcasting television as well. So NBC Blue was sold off to the guy who invented lifesavers and was turned into ABC. And this sale is the reason that I personally keep thinking that these sales are illegal. This is the thing that I'm remembering from my history of television class that's making me think that these buyouts are illegal. But they're not. Because the laws changed a little bit, and because the media landscape has changed a lot of it. So what changed? The Telecommunications Act of 1996. That's what changed. The Telecommunications Act of 1996 allowed fewer companies to control more of the available media. It also relaxed a lot of the laws that had been set in place by the financial interest and syndication rules of the 1970s. But why? I mean, the short answer, the media landscape just changed. Media in 1996 looked a lot different than it did in the 1970s, than it did in 1934. But the media landscape now is a lot different too. I mean, there are a lot of laws about the internet, and there should be. But there aren't very many that talk about monopoly or vertical integration of major motion picture studios on the internet. So, is Amazon buying MGM illegal? No. Obviously not, since the sale went through. Should it be illegal? I mean, that's a larger question that we're gonna have to figure out going forward in this new streaming world. I don't like that it's so much easier now for major studios to build this monopoly that we've worked so hard over the past 100 years to avoid. I don't like it as a viewer because it makes me pay for multiple streaming services even when I don't want to, and I don't like it as someone who's trying to work in TV. The internet is basically still in its infancy. It doesn't feel like that because online content creators and major studios have been making money off of it, have been getting awards from it. It feels like the internet is established, but people were making money off of TV in 1941, and the only people who had TVs then lived in New York City. We're still got a long way to go. Eventually, there will be regulations on this. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know what those regulations will be. But this gut feeling that I have that this is illegal, not going away. I started researching this video not even really knowing that it was going to be a video as soon as I saw the article about Amazon purchasing MGM. I did a lot of research and I didn't even use most of it. Well, maybe most of it. Point is, I did a whole lot of research and I found out a lot of really interesting stuff, some of which doesn't really fit into this type of format. So some of my favorite factoids I will be turning into TikToks, and if you go ahead and follow me on TikTok, you can find out what I found out, and hopefully some of it will be new to you too. This is my first YouTube video in maybe a year or more, so there's that. But if you follow me here on YouTube and don't follow me over on Twitch, I have been much more consistently live streaming on Twitch about once a week. So hopefully I will see you over there. I will see you on TikTok. And what am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something. I must be, but it's been so long since I've made a video that I don't remember what I'm forgetting. So I remembered. I remembered. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this channel. If you've subscribed, like, since I've last posted a video, welcome and thank you and a little bit why, but I'm glad you're here. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you get a chance to do something that you love today. Bye.